It gets a little hairy.
Oh, the dick slot. I miss the dick slot.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother thing. Whole nother thing. Trey likes Boulder, apparently. So that was a very interesting show. They had the rain delay. So the timing, we were pontificating backstage whether or not they were given the extra 10 minutes or they really had to pay for it.
Yeah, I say they were probably given a leeway time since it wasn't even really a weather delay. Like, I think there was lightning in the area, it sounded like, but nothing that was like dicks those last couple years when we had to
It was
fear
a
for our
softball
lives.
It was a softball call. Like
Right.
it was softball games. If the Lightning's within a mile of the field, then you have to wait a half hour or something like that. So,
And I feel like since it was still Saturday night and not Sunday night, it's a little bit easier to get away with that because it's still kind of the weekend. And so I don't know. And I think like they would have known, obviously, either way, but they were hell bent on finishing those, doing that double encore and doing it the way they were going to, which was nice because even Slave, and we'll get to it, but even it felt right, like it felt confined. Like you kind of knew some of those things after where they were in that set and places felt like they knew they had to come in at times.
right,
So you kind of got that time feeling at the back end of that anyway. So good show though.
right.
Good weekend, fun run.
Maybe part of it was they walked off stage and they were like, "We only have 3 minutes," and they were like, "How much for 10 minutes?"
Well, I thought maybe, I was going to text you too and be like, maybe this is one of those times where you say screw the encore, like we always talk about, and just play up till time and walk off, or like stop and just kind of stay on stage and then play one more song and leave type thing and just play it up till that. Cause we always talk about the encore. It's kind of
Right. The hairiest people on the planet, fish. Oh. Buried Alive is a classic opener. Really, probably one of my top 3 openers. I love the instrumental. It gives them a chance to just loosen up. It has those fast runs in it, and then we can sing a song.
the best part of it is, I mean, it's such a great, yes, it's a great opener. It's so much fun because it just gets you going. But the best part is the end because it drops right into something else. And when it drops into something else, you're so like in that
Ready.
excited mode that like whatever comes next, you're like, oh, what's it gonna be? And then usually that, and they've already kind of warmed up with that 3 minutes of fury, sort of. So it leads into good things. So yeah, and I thought 46 days when it's in that sort of lead off position area, really does a solid job of opening a show.
Right. Well, I tell you what, I got a little scared when we got the 46 days was only 7 minutes and then Birds of a Feather and it was only 7 minutes. I was like, oh no, we're going into festival set Trey.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do because he has less time.
I said that in the Discord that the worst possible outcome is delay, weather, one set tray plus a stadium tray, like disaster, right? Like lost.
Right.
So yeah, and it kind of felt like that for those first 2. And I'll tell you what, I think I told you this earlier too. I feel like Sigma was like the anchor song. And it's kind of the anchor song when there's that one set in that stormy like he opened Dick's that time with it, and everyone's like, why would you open it? But I feel like it's kind of like a safety, like it kind of resets him or like gets him locked in. Okay, here we are. I've got my timing down now. I've got I know what I'm doing. It totals panic mode. Like it's full on panic mode for sure. And that's why I feel like the Sigma was sort of that. That was, I don't know. To me, it felt like that because it had a really nice jam in it. It felt like the first time they kind of settled.
It was strong.
It was the first time they felt settled.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it did. It had a really nice jam in it, a little bit extra on the bone. So that made me say, oh, maybe we're going to have a little extra on bone. And then Bowie in the middle of the set, I love Bowie. I will take Bowie any day of the week.
Yes.
I just wish we had a longer intro and Trey didn't kind of stumble into like the third measure of the song instead of starting it at the beginning.
And I mean, at least he kind of joked about it too. And was, he said like, I got it now or whatever, or, because he knew, total false start penalty. Like it was just off. And I feel like that kind of has to do with that, Kev. Like it's better when it just kind of comes at the end or whatever, or is there, because then they know going into it, he had one job and he knew it was coming.
What are we paying you for, Trey? What are we paying you for here?
Yeah, I think it was yeah. So everything that Sigma did with like laying it down and like getting them calm, then he kind of like flubs going into Bowie and then kind of got to start it over again. And yeah.
All right. I just want the long intro back. Give 2 or 3 minutes to the hi-hat and do some little ambient noises over it. Evolve, you got your Evolve. Were you dancing around your house?
I was so that song just makes me happy. Like I'm sorry, it's just fun. I like it. I like Evolve.
Right.
It was I was happy. It was very fun. It was very happy, and it sounded good in the stadium. And I was like, how can you hate this song? It's so much fun, and it's growing on me. Like I've always liked it, but it's like, getting better.
Spoiler alert: it did not make my 75 best studio fish cut.
I stand by what I said earlier too with bouncing, and this it feels like an Evolve bouncing to me, and I've always loved bouncing, and so this is just
like they're cousins or something
for sure. They live in that family,
right? All right, the meat of the set, Blaze On. I believe we got a Blaze On already this tour, but this one bigger. You thought it was going to close the set because that's where it's been living. Yeah. It had a little bit extra to it, and brilliant choice. I mean, you're in Boulder. You got to do Blaze On for all the Trustafarians,
Yes, I had a feeling this one when we played tonight. Again, I said it to you backstage. There's certain songs that they play in certain areas, and like Colorado, there's a certain songs, like I feel like Blaze On is always played at Dick's every year, and like we'll get to it, but like A Day in the Life started. The first one was at Red Rocks 95, and then Red Rocks 96, and then it was played at Dick's. So like there's songs that they play there a lot that are kind of just like those out of the like ones that you can kind of assure on. And Blaze On, even though it had been played already, was one of those kind of shoo-ins I felt like for tonight for sure. So yeah.
We still haven't gotten a split open and melt, have we?
Or an antelope, Kev. Or an antelope.
Right? 10 shows, no antelope. Woof.
And I'm really shocked they didn't play a Chalk Dust over this weekend, because I kind of felt like that was like a stadium rocking show that he would have wanted to perform. Like I'm really shocked we didn't get a few. So
right. Lizards. I love Lizards. The end of Lizards is so beautiful. When you're outside, it's definitely an outside kind of summer song. You can just close your eyes, let it wash over you.
Summer outside song. Like it's that summer fish for sure. And it's great. And funny placement. Like you thought Blaze On might close that set, but then it pushes it into a Lizards, which you thought maybe that's going to close the set. And then that doesn't, and you get A Day in a Life, which fantastic. Like how fun, awesome.
What makes us look like idiots? What were we saying last night? They aren't going to do Day in the Life. Yeah, they aren't going to.
I dare. Life on Mars is still the one that's like out of reach. That one, if that one comes back,
Paige. We know you're watching.
We're listening. Listen. But like I said, A Day in the Life. First one was in '95 at Red Rocks, so it has a home here. I feel like. So yeah, it felt appropriate, and I love it. Good for them for dusting it off the shelf and playing it tonight. That's great.
Yes, it's definitely a fantastic choice there. Wow, we ran through that. Oh, there's a lot to eat up on the second set there, though. If you're watching this later, make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe, think about becoming a member. We do member hangs Monday morning. There's a show. We have interviews. We have a really big interview coming up on Monday. I don't want to jinx it, but once we get that done, we'll probably release it to the members first, because it's going to be earth shaking, shattering. Oh, okay. Melton Austin. Okay. Thank you, Timothy.
Tim. Yes.
Nice. All right, let's get into this set 2 here. Wilson, another classic opener, another of my top 3 openers. I mean, I
Yes.
would have been in love with how they started the 2 sets tonight. That's
Yes. Fantastic. Great. Again, stadium feel song. Like you want the chant, the crowd, the boat, like, yes, like fuck yeah. So fantastic. Yeah, great way to open the second set for sure. And then the drop into that Fuego. Again, stadium fish, like that, it's a perfect song for it. Like, and it filled that arena. I felt like it was such a good version. I thought it was really solid, like all the way through. And once they hit the launch off after the Viking Warriors, like it
right out there too. Yes, right
yes,
out. They didn't
right out
hesitate.
there.
There was no trying to find it or let's
No,
see where we're going. They knew they had a
yeah.
destination in
And I
mind.
feel like that song has really, like, it always kind of had that like jam in it and potential, but man, they've really like that full encore that they did of it.
It's a 4.0 MVP. It's
Yes.
one of those ones that is totally up
It's
there.
just really taken off because, like, yeah, that the Monday Green one song encore thing that they did with it was incredible, and then it's had these moments of just, and even
Wasn't
this
it
one,
an
like,
encore again in
yeah,
LA or something?
yeah, and then even this one at 15 minutes still had so much inside of it, and like the breakdown and the comeback and it was incredible, and dropping into a 17-minute my friend out of it was like perfect, like just perfect transition right into it, like butter, like fantastic.
Well, that's your side of your tape. You're getting the Fuego, my friend, and Crosseyed. That's going to fit your 45 minutes there. God, my friend, if you pull up my friend, everybody should go pull it up on Fishnet and take a look, because from 23 on, when the first time they busted it out past 14 minutes, almost all of them were jam chart versions. It's like become this huge vehicle, and man, the little Fuego tease is in it. Was that the one we got the shout out to RZA? RZA?
That was in Crosseyed, wasn't it? In
That was a
Crosseyed,
Crosseyed, the Wu-Tang Forever. Apparently he was there this evening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, he was doing, I think, one of the after shows one of these nights.
Oh yeah, maybe
I think he was a guest for one of them. So yes, it totally makes sense.
That's funny.
Jam
That's
Vehicle
awesome.
Kevin, yes. Jam Vehicle Kevin is my
other
nickname. My other nickname. Oh man, but so much good stuff, and it was all dark. I mean, Fuego, I don't know, it touched a little on Bliss, but it was a very dark 40 minutes that they went through into Crosseyed. I guess Crosseyed is a major song, but
now he knows how to pronounce RZA exactly. He's been practicing. I had the AI run it.
So you know why? You know how I know, Jason? I asked on Blue Sky. I said they're going to make fun of me if I don't pronounce this right, and people were like, "Rhymes with scissors" and all this, and I was like, "All right."
Love it. That's amazing.
I'm not going out like that.
This entire Wilson Fuego, my friend Crosseyed, fought, like, completely slayed this 4-run song of the set, and just the music was fantastic. The jams were dry, like, just they were in full force Fish, like it was fantastic. And then yeah, and then we kind of just hit.
The Crosseyed was so fantastic. They were having fun. A little bit of he did Happy Birthday, traded some Happy Birthday guitar too. I wonder if he has to pay for that.
Yes, we're in town. See that?
There you go.
That's what he's saying. Nice.
I love it.
Diverse.
I wonder what they thought. Because, if they were there and they were like, wow, this band's pretty dark and heavy and they're getting into these deep psychedelic sludgy things, and then we get Everything's Right.
Which I'll say this, that song has its moments of jams, like the Phoenix 21. Like, it has moments where it
had moments tonight. That's what
I was getting to.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting to. Is like tonight was one of those nights where it kind of was a left turn that you were like, oh, that's where we're going. And where was it last night? Kind of thing. Like, I kind of expected it more last night than tonight. So that was weird, but that jam makes up for it. Like tonight was one of those special jam nights where you're like, damn, this thing got in there. And coming through the last 3 songs, it made sense where like what it was and what it did. I just sometimes you're like, why are you doing this right now, Trey? And then it gets into that and you're like, okay, well, this jam is ridiculous. So go. but then another question, Kev, more after that. Like you get the everything's right, more back to back for 20 minutes in the back end of your set, which is a little
well, they a slow song. I actually thought they were going to close the set with it because I figured that if they were going to fit an encore in, that was going to be it.
That was going to be it. Yeah.
You know, they're going to do slow songs, and I can always wish for a Fast Enough for You or an If I Could or something like that. But more than likely, you're going to get a More, you're going to get a Miss You, you're going to get a Life Beyond. And that's where we are. Trey, I think, feels that. He pulsates.
He pulsates Love and Light for 5 minutes
really
of it
does.
just going. There must be something more than this. Well, and then there was something more than that because they gave us a slave, an 8-minute timed slave. I feel like it was one of those like, oh crap, let me fit this in here. You know, like again, this is kind of, I feel like these great jams going through. I mean, he could have just ran Everything's Right another 10 minutes and called it a set, right?
I want to say that Slave made its comeback at Red Rocks in '93. It had been absent for a few years, but they might have played it like a couple nights before, and that was the second one. I remember at the time they're thinking, wow, I've only ever seen this on tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Back then.
I mean, it's always a beautiful song. It's always a beautiful song. It's just sometimes it gets a little bit longer on the back end to build into the comeback.
I want that to go like Lizards. I want that jam just to go and just wash over me. Just keep playing it.
Keep going, because then when it comes back in, it has such a monumental, like, you know, white light beating down on you, real like energy moment. And I mean, I think everyone would have been fine with a 21-minute Everything Rights to close that set and make that a 5-song second set and just go that route. And then maybe drop a slate and then do a 3-song encore if you wanted to, if you could fit it in there with it. But I don't know. Slave is beautiful, and I'll take it any time. It just felt a little rushed and crammed in there.
Solid set closer. Should have been an Antelope.
Should have been. Where is it, Trey?
Where is it?
8 shows, 9 shows into tour now.
10. I mean, it's the 10th show. Tonight was the 10th show of tour.
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know. All right. Well, yeah. All right.
No, it's the 9th. It's the 9th.
Yeah, tonight was the 9th.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, and 3. Yeah.
The next one's the 10th. What was it? Columbus
on Wednesday night. Yes, we'll be going to Columbus on Wednesday night. Another show of the tour opportunity. Just like Pittsburgh was. But I think if Pittsburgh is going to be the one that's I don't know. I feel like last night's show was the best show of the 3. I know people are going to say this one was, but
no, last night was about. Yeah, I agree. Last night I think was the heavy one, the heavyweight. And then I don't know. It's kind of a toss up for me between the other two. After that, like tonight had some heavy moments, but Friday night had some great first set.
I like the second set better than the second set on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's great until you get that 20 minutes of Everything's Right and more in there. I don't know, that kind of, and that Slave even. Encore is fun. Buffalo Bill's great. His burial site is right, not far from. It's actually closer to Red Rocks, but it's not far from Boulder either. Right at Lookout Mountain, kind of right there. If you don't know, and so funny to get. I mean, I think they've played that. They've played it at Dick's before. I know, but yeah.
Buffalo Harry,
and then you get the Fun Fish to close out,
and Colorado. a little extra on the hood too tonight.
I mean, Colorado Fish is really fun fish. Like, I'm really sad I missed this run of shows because you know that's usually where I see.
Well, that's what I said. I went out there 21, 22, and 23, and I would trade in all those lonely trips in Sigma Oasis for these 3 shows. I'll tell you that.
It was
Beneath
fun.
the Sea of Stars. Lord
It
help
was
me.
fun. This summer tour has been a lot of fun. They've had a lot of good bust outs. They sound great. Some really fantastic jams and exploration in some of the songs, and even some of the shorter songs have still maintained their space and gone places and done things.
The shorter songs have a place.
Yeah, yeah, and I really like I like the way the sets have been constructed. There's been a few question marks and interesting things, but for the most part, it's been pretty well done. And I think tonight, even with the hiccup of the rain delay, jumping in there, he still made the best of it, and really they ripped. So yeah.
Right. Can I just compliment you on having your mic right where the chat is going, so there's a black background? Excellent work.
I noticed that pre-show. I lined it up. It's the production value.
God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, are we going to get the Antelope in Columbus? I think that's where it belongs.
I mean, what are they holding it out for is my question. Like, why haven't we got it? I thought for sure Colorado.
It's 40 years old. I think Trey's just like, I got so many other toys to play with. Kind of like the doll in Toy Story, the cowboy. It's in the bottom of the toy chest.
Well, I guess, but I mean, you could say that, I suppose, with what's been closing the first sets lately and taking its spot, because that's usually where it lives. And when we got the one at the Hollywood Bowl, it was in the middle of that set. So, and that's the last one we've had. So I don't know. Maybe when it does come back, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, that'd be fun as hell if he put it back in the middle of the set again, and then we could really start.
That was cool.
Like conspiracy
or split it up. They've done split. I mean, I guess that was back in '93. They used to do that kind of stuff, but they've split them up before, where you ended up with some weird little jam in the middle. I'm in 36th, 35th place. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that.
We got to get you over there on the Discord, Boomer. We got to get you over there making picks. Everyone should go in there and make picks. It's fun. It's fun. It's frustrating, but it's fun.
I don't gamble. I tell you what.
It's not gambling.
It is gambling. Just because
you make your picks, you make your picks on Blue Sky. What's the difference? You're throwing them out there to the world. You're still doing it.
I'm not competing against anybody else.
Well, neither am I. They just run it up the flagpole and give you points for doing it. But
you guys should call up Makita and be like, what was Kevin like when he played fantasy football? And you guys will not want me to be part of your thing. I would send him messages in the morning.
True. The worst thing you can have is like a frustrated or angry Kev at something that's like out of his control. It's the worst. It's like when he's trapped in a casino, or like when something on the computer or something's not working that he can't fit. It's like he gets very. So I could see that.
It doesn't take much. Well, the stakes are, Greg H. Bragging rights.
Bragging rights, right? The ego. That's. It's like hunting man, the most dangerous game.
Michael, do not lump me in with Tim. Do not lump me in with Tim with this. I don't know what his motivations are or anything there. Trapped at Mondegreen, yes. No, the problem with Mondegreen was nobody knew where anything was, and it was 9 miles from one end to the other of it. I actually stopped this guy and in a golf cart, and I was like, dude, I got to get over to the other side. And I acted like I had this important thing to do. He was like, hop on, and he drove me into the place and all the way across the field, and then dropped me off at the other exit.
The anger you had between the tequila and walking over there and not finding what you were looking for was overwhelming. That, the casino in Vegas, trying to get out of Vegas after Halloween. Those have been the most frustrated Kev I've seen in a long
So I try
time.
not to do that.
Yes.
All right, guys, we'll be back Wednesday night after the show. No live this week because obviously
no live this week, but we have a lot coming out. You've got stuff coming, Kev. We got interviews coming.
On Monday we got a festival preview for 4848, and on the 8th, on Tuesday, we have an interview with Brian Anderson, who wrote a book called Loud and Clear about the Wall of Sound. Absolutely fascinating conversation. So make sure you check that out. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll see you soon.